Hello boys and girls, and those of undesignated origin. On my last video, I put out a request for help and advice on what I should do with my rear suspension. Whether I should continue with the coilover triangulated four-link or just revert back to good old traditional leaf spring and shock. Well, I've made my decision. So as you saw in the comment section, I got a ton of advice, but I also got a ton of advice on private emails. So much so that I had to actually print them out because there's so much information here. Now, while I remember, I've been mixing up my Kevins. There's currently 3 Kevins that have been communicating with me. We have 57 Kevy, the guy I went to see fairly locally. We did a shop tour a couple of weeks ago. We have Kevin, just plain old Kevin, and we have Kevy. This list of instructions is from Kevy. As I say, I had to print it out because all this was in one sentence. So he's given me a step-by-step guide on what I should do to, I didn't tell you my decision. I'm going with the leaf springs. Should have started with that. So he's given me a step-by-step guide on what I should do to reinstall leaf spring suspension with shock absorbers. So I think I'm going to start by wheeling Bugsy outside to get access to my leaf springs. They're away in that corner, and I'll go through what I'm going to do. Right, let's begin. Right then, step 1. Let's make sure that these leaf springs are actually okay. Now that involves removing all this shielding, which Randy just informed me was put onto the older cars to apparently make it quieter for some reason. It keeps the grease in between the leaves as well. But if I redo these, I'll probably, instead of using grease, I'll use like that Teflon strip that you put in between so that the leaves can slide without the need for grease. So as I say, first thing, I'm going to strip these down, check they're okay, and I can do that, apparently, says Kevy, with some brake cleaner. If I sprayed brake cleaner around them, as it evaporates, if there's any cracks, then you'll see the cracks because the brake cleaner will evaporate slower if there's cracks. So I'll be able to see. So I need to strip these down. So all that's really holding these together is obviously that crusty old shielding and the bolt in the middle. I also need to check the eyelets aren't uncurling and check the bushings. Now I know the bushings are toast. I'll need to get new bushings, but that's okay. That's easy to replace. Whereas if it's uncurling at the ends, not so easy to repair. So let's go on with it, stripping them down, see what we're playing with, okay? then now we can separate the leaves from each other. Now obviously I did that in the vise because I had no idea how much force was going to be in there. I didn't want to just take that nut off. So let's lay these out, and then we can give them a quick brush down, and then we'll try the old acid test. Well, you know, the brake cleaner test. A lot of surface rust, but hopefully they'll be okay. Right, let me give them a quick clean. Back in a second. Oh, this actually comes out. I was wondering if that was welded in. Yeah, I'll probably have to replace that. It's a bit aged, shall we say. Okay, clean up time. As you saw, I gave them a quick rub down with the wire wheel and the angle grinder. Obviously they're not ready for complete refurb. I want to check first. I'm not putting too much effort into these because if I find any cracks I'll just have to get new ones. So good old brake cleaner to the rescue. Let's spray this on and monitor the situation. Let's start with the big one. The idea being that this stuff evaporates, but if there's any cracks, it will take longer to evaporate in those cracks, so we just need to watch for any lines appearing. Might as well do them all. Don't know if I'm going to have enough brake cleaner. You know what? I don't think I've ever actually used this stuff in my brakes. I've used it to, you know, prep paint surfaces. I've used it to clean hands, but not for brakes. Okay. So far so good on the big one. Nothing appearing. Now I will, once they're all dry and checked, I'll flip them over and do the other side just to make sure. Number 2 looks okay. Number 3, so far, I'll wait for that to dry a bit more. But overall we're looking pretty good. Yeah, number 1 is fine. Well, at least he's fine on the top side. Or technically the bottom side. Number 2, he's fine. Number 3, fine. 4 is fine. 5, fine. 6, good. 7, all good. Right, quick spray on this side for a final check. No cracks, no cracks. No cracks, no cracks, no cracks, no cracks. Excellent. Okay, obviously I need to do the same for the other set of springs, but so far so good. Now I know they're really old, but hey, they've been working for like 85 years. What's another couple of years, eh? So let's check what else we need to make sure is okay. So I was to check if the ends were uncurling. That looks good. Obviously that needs a new bushing. That's to be expected. Other side, again, needs a new bushing. Wow, that's well worn, that should be in the middle. But no uncurling, so I think we are good to proceed with these springs. Obviously I would clean them up a bit better than I did, but I don't really want to use a sander. I don't want to take any surface off, I just want to take the surface rust. Awesome. So let's see where we are on the list. Check the eyelet each, make sure bushings, blah blah blah. Right, so the bushings definitely need replaced. Make sure the wrap of the eyelet is not uncurling, it's not, so we're good there. Blah 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 blah. So now you have good springs, you have to buy bolts, shackles, U-bolts, perches and mount plates. When buying the bolts for the eyes, make sure you buy grade 8. When you look at the hex part of the bolt, it will have 6 lines on it. This is very helpful. So, before I start buying stuff, we're going to have a look at the original mounting points. Now, I kind of half-assed this when I was taking these springs off. So I kind of chopped through the mounting plates. At least I did at the front. I kind of left the rest of it in place so that if I ever wanted to revert back, I would know where they would go. So, worst case scenario, I need to grind out the rivets, get rid of them, get new mounting plates for the springs to attach to. So, let's have a look at that, and then we'll take it from there. I've jacked the car up, gives a better idea of what we're looking at. So let's start at the back. Here. That's the rear mount, which I didn't destroy. Not sure what's going on with this pin here, because that's not threaded as far as I can see. Oh my goodness, I need to look into that. But that looks pretty well intact, which is a good thing. Same on the other side over there, which you can't see from here. So let's have a look at the front mounts, which I did hack up, I know this. That's kind of a shame because they were actually in good condition and I've destroyed them. Also, you'll notice that the exhaust is getting in the way. But that's not too bad, because I had been considering running the exhaust all the way over the axle and out the back. It is kind of obnoxiously loud coming back there. So if I did that, I'd be able to add a muffler at the back, or 2 mufflers at the back. I couldn't really do that before because of the triangulated bars. They were getting in the way of where the exhaust would have to run. So if they're not going to be there, I can start thinking about a full exhaust system as well. So that's where we are with regards to the mounting points. Something else I noticed while I was under here. If you look at the line of the frame, okay, so that's the rear mounting point, and you can't quite see the front mounting point. But you notice that this plate that holds the coil springs on and the bars at the front, the triangulated bar, just overlaps where I want the axle spring perch to mount. Now, I was going to have to remove all that anyway. This is going to be a fairly big job, but that's okay. I'll be taking off those plates and the coil springs and probably all that shenanigans for the triangulated bars as well. No biggie, just thought I would point that out, that I'm aware that that's in the way. So I was just chatting with Brian Glanville. Yeah, I got your name right. He is a fellow Canadian, and he sent me contact details for Harry's Spring Shop in London, Ontario. Apparently they're really good. I'm going to give them a call just to see what we're talking for the hardware for this system. It's worth a shot. See if you can even get the parts that I need. Hi, I wonder if you can help. I'm looking for some. Wow, that's loud. I'm looking for some spring hardware for a 1936 Chevy Coupe.
Right, and what do you mean hardware?
Well, the leaf spring hardware, the perches and shackles and that kind of stuff. Really, just want to see if it's even possible to get it from you guys.
Yeah, it used to be, but not anymore. They don't. The company that used to do it is gone. Pretty much out of the States is where you got to order it now.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be original. It's basically a hot rod I'm building, so you know.
Right.
Even if I gave you the width of the springs, is there anything that you could help me with?
No, I can't make it up or anything. Like the width of this. What did you say it was?
A 36 Chevy Coupe.
Right. And yeah, see, what is the width of the spring?
It's about 1 3/4 inches.
Right. Now there is trailer shackle kits that I have for 1 3/4, but they take a 9/16 bolt and a nylon bushing.
Okay.
And I think I have 2 3/4 center to center on the holes, or 3 inch. I carry them both.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, so if I take some measurements and maybe drop by and see you at some point,
Yep.
can maybe sort it out. Okay, excellent.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye now.
Well, that's unfortunate, but hey, that's just one place. I'm pretty sure I would get the hardware that I need from Summit or Speedway. Prices aren't ridiculous anyway. It would have just been handy if I could have got it reasonably locally. And also, it's nice to be able to take parts into a shop and size them up. That's been the bane of my life for the last year due to COVID. Not being able to go out and do the touchy-feely thing. Right, what do we do next? Oh, I guess we need to take lots of measurements. I really don't want to be buying stuff that isn't going to fit. I did that enough with the coil spring setup, so let's do it right this time. Right, paper and pen. Well, that didn't take long. There's only a couple of measurements I think I need, to be honest. The width of the leaves are 1 3/4, and the diameter of the axle shaft where it clamps on is 3 inches. So for like the axle perches, it needs to be a 3-inch curve, and then the bolt pattern needs to be obviously 1 3/4 wide for the leaf spring. And the shackles, I guess. I don't know. Let me know what other measurements I need, because it kind of seems pretty straightforward. I did get, as I said before, I got a lot of comments and messages of what I should get, ranging from like, I think someone even said Dodge Dakota plates for the bottom of the spring perches, no, the axle, whatever. The ones that have the little loop to connect a shock absorber up diagonally. Yeah, I'm learning as I go. We'll get there. But no, I'm not disheartened at all, because so far the parts are pretty cheap compared to the old coilover shenanigans. So, I will continue with cleaning up the other spring, making sure it's not cracked. And if they're good, then while we're waiting for more comments and maybe parts, I'll refurb these springs completely, order up some of that Teflon strip. Someone sent me a link and I can't find it. If it was you, drop a comment with the link. It was on Amazon, it was perfect and I can't find it, I'm sorry. And we'll get back to it tomorrow with more suggestions, I guess. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good. Right folks, thanks for watching today. This was really step one of the whole ditch the coilover campaign and get Bugsy back on the road. I'm not driving him until this is done. So keep the comments a coming. Take care everyone. See you in the next one. Bye bye.